Shout out to Kef, new baby. Congrats to him. See you here soon. Good practice today. Guys were getting after it. You could tell the juices were flowing a little bit. Kind of changed it up on them. Did a little more team than a normal Thursday. And it's the energy was there. The physicality was there. We just gotta continue to harness that emotion and play with discipline. And but you got to have practice like this to get that done. So really excited for where we're at. And I think our coaches are doing a really good job of coaching these guys hard and demanding excellence in everything they do. And we're not there yet, but we're on our way. Questions?
Coach, what is the goal for this stage of spring football? Like, what are you looking to get out of it at this point before you get ready for the end of spring practice?
Yeah, I think really who we're going to be identity-wise, really on offense and defense, and special teams is more technical work and getting guys a lot of reps at different positions. But offense and defense, really who we're going to be on each side of the ball. New faces, some new schemes, some new ideas, new thoughts, new coaches. So it's always good to kind of figure out strengths and weaknesses of your team, and we're figuring that out. And a good time to experiment on some things and take plays out. Maybe a play that was really good for us last year, this year is not. And maybe a play that was not so good for us, previous years is really good with us now. So just finding that balance of who we're going to be. And it's been fun. It's been quick, kind of the way we're practicing. But it's been fun, and I think we're getting a lot out of it. So that's good.
How would you identify what the strengths right now of this team?
Man, I think it's hard to put just your thumb on one thing. I think we're pretty good in a bunch of areas. I think we're being coachable. I think the speed and physicality is something that I think is going to stand out to people, and when you watch us play, the energy that we play with. But I think for me, I always want to be built in the trenches in the offensive line and defensive line. I think we got pretty good depth there. I think we got a lot of guys fighting for positions and competing. And so I would say the O-line, D-line is not there yet, but hopefully by the end of fall camp going into that week one, that's our strength.
How would you describe the dynamic right now with the new coaches you have on staff, with the new players, some of these new faces trying to work with one another for the first time? How is it all starting to work out right now?
Yeah, I think guys are gelling together pretty well, and for the most part, offensively, obviously Coach Morris and Coach Neely coming over, and I've been with Coach Morris for a number of years, so he's been able to pick up and kind of learn some new terminology, but knows how to we practice and knows the standard and all that. Defensively, really haven't missed a beat. I think we're going to be a little bit more multiple this year on defense, which is something that I want to do, and I think the guys are really buying into that, and we're getting a ton of reps, a lot of team reps, and getting those guys some real game action. So it's been good.
On the offense, I know one of the key spots you want to improve on is the offensive line, especially when you lose two starters. Just how's their progression going, especially filling those two spots at center and right guard?
Yeah, I think it's been good. I think a guy like Chase Todd kind of stands out to me. A guy that's played really well all spring. He was here with us last year, and he's a little bit more athletic and can move around, so we're able to do a little bit more with him. And we got a couple guys battling for guard tackle spots and moving guys around. Remember last year, telling you guys, like, we like to move some guys around to, all right, this guy's going to be a tackle today, and then he's going to be a guard tomorrow, and getting Strawn some center reps, and so I think it's been good. A lot of competition and some new faces. So, yeah, I think that group's trending in the right direction. And anytime you're getting that many guys reps, sometimes three groups, it's tough. But got some good players up there.
Who's someone on that offensive line that's really stood out to you and has really stepped up from their progression from last season?
I think Alex Harkey is a guy that him and Chase Todd both have really, I think, took the off season and they might not have played last year, but they got a ton of reps in practice and some game reps as well. And then both of those guys have gotten bigger and stronger in the off season and just year 2 in the system. Two pretty special players that I'm excited about, and I think a guy, Dorian Strawn, is a guy that played a ton of snaps last year, but just from a size and athleticism standpoint, I mean, he's really special and a really good player, and obviously Nash Jones is who he is. So we got some O linemen and a couple more guys that I didn't mention that are playing at an extremely high level. We just got to continue to get better, and the small details and the discipline aspect of it has to continue to get better.
On offense as a whole, like, what are you trying to accomplish here in week 3?
Like I said, I think just that identity and maybe we're trying some new things, trying some new schemes and see if anything sticks. Because we know who we're going to be for the most part, but what are those wrinkles going to be like, Is it going to be outside zone? Is it going to be pin and pull schemes that we're going to add? Are we not going to add any of them? We're going to try them and not add them. We're an inside zone team or a counter team, a power team. So what's that, new wrinkle that we're going to add? We'll see. But it's good to experiment with those type deals.
When you talk about identity, from what you've seen so far, what is the offensive identity of this team?
I think, when McCloud's out there, he just knows where to distribute the ball so well. So I've already seen Matt kind of tend to drop back and pass it every play. Just because he's so good and takes care of the ball. But we're still going to be a run play action team. But I could see us, with the way he is able to operate, maybe throwing the ball a little bit more. But we'll see. I still want to be a run play action team and run the ball. We got a special O-line with special backs, so it's a good problem to have. But I think when you're calling plays and you see the quarterback, basically doing exactly what he's coached to do at all times, it's pretty fun as a play caller.
How has Jordan McCloud kind of adjusted to this offense? Being in San Marcos and all of that stuff.
Yeah, he's done really well. He's just a great kid, and he's done this a couple times now. So he's a pro at it. So great kid, hard worker. He's really been awesome. So no complaints there, and doing everything that he's coached to do at a high level and fitting in with the team. I think the team's really enjoys being around him, and I see guys joking with him. And I said this to somebody the other day. I think, I'm an offensive head coach, so sometimes you can see that his personality maybe coming out a little bit more and being a little bit more loose and having fun, which is good to see. So I think he's doing a good job.
Talking about the skill position players here, Coach, you have some retention, you have some newcomers between your backs. You mentioned the running backs and the receivers. How are they meshing, right now with McCloud and this quarterback group you've got?
Yeah, that part's been fun to see. We're rolling a bunch of guys. Guys like Chris Don really stepped up. He had a couple of really big-time catches. Obviously, you got Joey and Cole and those guys. And Bo Sparks has had a really good spring, and a guy with a bunch of speed and means something to him. Kylan Evans is a guy that continues to just keep on getting better every day, and he's had a couple. We don't have a lot of those bodies. That 6'2", 6'3" outside guys that can run, and he's a true freshman, but doesn't play like a true freshman. Means something to him, and studies a lot. So Jaden Williams is another guy that's really, he's played a lot of football and been around a bunch of really good coaches, and another kind of local guy coming home through the portal. So that part's been fun to see, and he's been awesome, really smooth, great hands, very savvy. the places he's been, he's blocked a lot, so it's one of those deals where I made a comment the other day. We commended him for going in there and blocking the safety and springing one of the running backs, and I told him, I said, he's done that a time or two. He's gone down there and dug out the safety a time or two, so he kind of brings that another mentality as far as blocking to the table. So that's been good to see. Who am I missing? I'm sure there's some more guys out there. Isaac Norris, walk-on guy that's really flashed a couple times. Lake Travis kid, that maybe it's the Chad Morris Lake Travis connection. Maybe he's pulling it out of him. Some of those state championship teams. So, but he's had a really good spring. Guy that's flashed a couple times, caught some touchdowns, had a nice one-handed catch the other day, and so that part's been fun to see. He was one of those guys at the end of the season, coach, should I go somewhere else and try to play? And because I think he is good enough to go play somewhere. And so just give us the spring, man. I think you're a good player. So it's been good for him to kind of go out there and showcase his ability a little bit through spring, and hopefully he's able to help us some in the fall.
It's been well chronicled, the relationship that you built with the high school coaches here in Texas. Couldn't help but notice you got Jim Streety out of practice here today. Kliff Kingsbury, his dad, Tim out here as well. What does it mean to see faces like that come out and attend your practices? Yeah,
it's fun. I just texted Kliff. We had a bunch of legends out at practice today, so that was good to see. And my dad's a Texas high school coach, and so it's always good to see those guys come back around and share some wisdom and tell some stories, and that's what it's about. For me, I love being around great people and great coaches, and I always try to get a nugget here or there when they're out there. So it's been fun to have those guys out there.
Looking at the defense, just how's this defense kind of progressed over the spring practice, especially with it being week 3?
Yeah, that's been really fun to see. I think it was, coming out the gate, everyone's excited, and one of those deals where, probably got after them a little bit at the beginning, just because they have a bunch of really good players, but implementing some new schemes and some new coverages and fronts and all that kind of stuff, and we got after them a little bit, but you can kind of see that gap closing, and guys really flying around, and probably some new faces kind of not emerge, but get more comfortable, and a guy like Ryan Nolan and Cam Pearson, they were, JUCO guys. Those first couple of practices, they didn't know what was going on. They're just out there trying to figure out, it was just the offensive side or the defensive side. So they're starting to figure it out a little bit. Guy like Bryce Bass coming over from Gardner-Webb, and Khalil Alexander, a guy in year 2 in the system, really making some plays, and so it's been fun to see them kind of progress and the defense kind of grow, and each day they're definitely getting better. So that's been really good to see as a head coach, and those guys coming together, and because look, they go against a really good offense every day, so it's we challenge each other for sure, because if we're not on our stuff on offense with the movement and the blitzes and the pressures, we can get exposed really quick. And if they're not getting the call in and getting lined up and know exactly what's going on with our offense, with the tempo and the precision and the quarterbacks that we have, a touchdown is you can have one play touchdown just like that. So it's been good to see the back and forth competition.
You kind of touched on about what new something are you trying to add to this defense, just kind of to help them progress?
Yeah, not giving away too much. I mean, it's one of those deals where you always want to add and add new wrinkles, and obviously you have a new defensive coordinator, so he's had different experiences in his life as a player and a coach, and so he's always going to want to add this or add that, and as a head coach, being more involved in the defense and some of the things that gives us problems on offense, implementing some of those schemes, and as long as it fits, like I talked about, like in the spring, you kind of throw some stuff on the wall and see what sticks. So doing that a little bit, and it's been a lot of fun, and I said it early in the Dex is a football junkie. He enjoys watching different teams and different schemes, and see what fits. We have our this is the meat and potatoes, but hey, what are we going to add over here to make us a little bit better? So, like I said, third down defense was a problem last year, so we're continuing to add different third down schemes and packages and kind of see what fits our personnel.
How has Coach Dex kind of adjusted to being the defensive quarter now with it being week 3?
Yeah, I think it's good. I think first couple of practices he was, same thing, like getting used to it. But you can kind of see him really coming to his own, and I know he's definitely getting the calls in quicker. It's one thing to talk about it, and then Coach Leftwich over there giving those tempo calls, and hey, you better be ready, or there'll be touchdown out the gate. So I think that part's been fun for him to see, and it definitely helps when you have referees out there. We had refs Saturday. It slows us down just a little bit, but practice is always good. It's a little bit unrealistic how fast we go, so it's good for those guys on defense.
From that last Saturday scrimmage, just what did you see from the team that you liked, and what are some things that this team still needs to improve on?
I saw a lot of really good things. I thought the mistakes that we made were just, spring ball mistakes, and we're continuing to get better. But there was nothing that really stood out to me that, this was a huge point of emphasis or going. I think we just need to get everyone on offense doing their job, everyone on defense doing their job, and usually in a scrimmage in the spring, you got 10 guys doing the right thing and one guy messing up, and it can kill a play or give up a touchdown. So just continuing to harp those small details.
Saw you at the softball game. Just what do you think about the softball team and just how they've been?
Man, it's been fun. I was telling Coach Leftwich this morning, they have they got it figured out. They got a elite pitcher, kind of like an elite quarterback, right? I feel I'm not a soft, whatever, but they play really good defense. They got a lot of speed. I feel like they compete really well. They're very well coached, and they play well with each other. Like you can tell, there's a special bond that they have. So I think it's, man, anytime you can go out there and watch a special team, because that's a special team, go out there and compete. That's always fun to see. So you don't get that all the time. So as much as I can get out there and watch those girls I'm going to, and man, really well coached, really good team, and I'm excited to see kind of what they do the rest of the year.
Coach, having your old offensive coordinator here in Chad Morris, how do you feel like that's going to help the team offensively, and what do you think he brings to the table?
Yeah, he just brings a ton of experience, and going to be a great sounding board, not only for Mac, but for myself as a head coach. He has experience that really at all the levels. So he's just someone that's been awesome for that room and the receivers, and really coaches them hard, and those receivers really enjoy being around him. He's able to coach them hard, and I think our receiver room has gotten tremendously better with Coach Morris here. He's a really good coach. Sometimes you see him. For me, he was my offensive coordinator, and then I worked for him when he was a head coach. So I didn't, he coached me as a quarterback, but getting him to see him really focus on a position and really get those guys going in the right direction and buying in, and it's been fun to see. You look back and like, golly, that guy's damn good at what he does. He was a head coach in the SEC for a reason. So he's been awesome, and just someone that's been really good for the room and really good for the staff and for the team.
When you have someone like Coach Morris that you played under, you also worked under him at SMU. Now that he's working for you, how's that, I guess, relationship like dynamic, or is it just like same old, same old?
Yeah, it's like, I don't have an ego. Coach Morris doesn't have an ego. Coach Mack doesn't. We just want to win. So I think it's just everyone going in the right direction. I think it helps that I've played for him and worked for him, so I kind of know what he's thinking most of the time. I still catch myself catering to him a little bit. That's just part of it. I think a lot of times we'll call a play, we'll run a scheme, and like the other day I say, yeah, we scored a touchdown on that in 2010, or pull up that 2017 clip. So a lot of fun times together, and it's been really fun to have him out here and getting to see him, just be around him and his family, and so it's been a lot of fun.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Coach.
it.